since I can do whatever I want, you're just going to edit it out. Are you recording now? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. It's springtime here at Maple Hill Golf, and it's time for another What's in Your Bag series for the 2024 season. And we're going to start here with Ian. Ian's one of our fitters. Ian, welcome today.
Thank you.
Ian's never done a What's in the Bag before. How long have you been working at Maple, Ian?
A little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. Yeah. So it's time to get him in the cycle here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see, you can see just right off the bat, it's a nice colorful presentation you got going on. Absolutely love it. Because if the clubs don't say enough, you can make the rest of your bag say something for you too.
That's right. Can't play good, look good.
Are there any stories with the head covers? I guess you can get started there.
Yeah, so my son got me this one. I was a Tiger fan. I played against him in the junior golf tournaments, and he got me this when he was 5, and he's 23 now, so it just can't come off the bag. It just stays on there.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, stretched it out with the big-headed drivers, so it's on my 3-wood now. But other than that, yeah, I can't take it off of there. It's going to be on there until it disintegrates, I guess.
So let's start at the top.
Yeah.
And we'll just work our way down. So tell us, what driver do you have in the bag right now?
So I went with the dark speed driver this year. I came out of a Mizuno driver into the dark speed. Faster ball speed off the face, pretty forgiving, heel to toe. So, you know, weights up front to kind of lower the ball flight, keep it down a little bit. I went with a 10.5, and then I turned it down 1 degree. And that's just to keep the face a little bit open at impact. And most of your tour guys are higher loft, and they open it up to control the ball flight and things like that. So yeah, so that's
I'm looking at ball striking here. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I try not to
What do you normally shoot, just so everybody watching here kind of has an idea?
Mid 70s.
Okay.
You know, sometimes if I get calmed down a little bit on the course,
so you're pretty good single digit heavy handicapper. Yeah. So just as you look at what clubs he's playing here, kind of gets you an idea too. Yeah. And that dark speed's been one of our better performers.
Yeah, I mean, fitting wise, we put it in everybody's hands, and it seems like they're hitting it really, really well. And dispersion rate's good, spin rate's good, launch is good.
Yeah.
So faster ball speeds than last year. So
yeah, that's great. 3 models, lots of shafts.
Absolutely. So they have the LS model, which is kind of for your lower spin guys, faster club head speeds, and then the X model. It's good for everybody, really. I mean, high handicappers, low handicappers. It just has a certain feel to it that jumps off the face. The Max model is the draw bias, so it has a little more weight in the heel.
Yep. A little more my speed.
Yeah, so it kind of keeps some of that left to right out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all three models have been going really, really well for us. So.
Wonderful. Yeah, definitely one to consider when if you're looking for a new driver this year. And really, Cobra has been very consistent in the top tier drivers the last several years. So keep them in mind. What's next?
What next? So
that's our 3-wood.
A little old school, right? Again, the old school head covers, got to go with an old school 3-wood. So I got the Speedline Fast 12, slots on the top, slots on the bottom. It's just one of those clubs that I know where it's going to go. It's a fairway finder, if you will. I hit it about 235, 240 every time, and just upgraded shaft a little bit in a newer model shaft than it would have had in it. But yeah, it's just Adams used to make really, really good golf clubs, and for every skill level, and it just jumps. Don't have to think when you hit it. You just swing it and it goes. So,
yeah, if you're looking, Adams, we were talking before we started here, Adams is kind of something a lot of people miss. They made some really good stuff before they disappeared. If you're looking at used stuff and come across some of the Adams, hard to miss.
Highly recommend hitting it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so driver 3-wood.
Yeah,
and then what?
So I'm in the process of getting a utility wood from Callaway. I haven't got it yet, but I hit a few demos. I like the way it feels. Kind of similar to the Adams feel. So next I just have a 23-degree Adams hybrid, keeping it in the
Your
thing.
3-wood's 15, right?
Yeah, 15-degree loft on the 3-wood.
Okay.
The utility wood I'm going to get a 17 to kind of split that up a little bit.
Yep.
And then I have a 23-degree hybrid from Adams. You know, older shaft, but it's still, again, it's my 200-yard club. I can get it out maybe to 210. I can hit it 190. It's very versatile. I keep a 4-iron in the bag too, so kind of the same loft, but this is just a lot more forgiving for those longer par
Yeah, I was going to say that's transitions are always interesting. Drivers to hybrids, hybrids to irons, and what different players are going to choose
100%, yeah. So my driver after that, I mean, if I'm 240 out and there's no water and it's kind of easy, I'll kind of go for the green. If not, I'm probably going to lay up with my hybrid to a certain number. So I have a good
and you
number
mentioned your 4-iron, and this hybrid are basically the same loft.
Yeah. So,
but your hybrid's got to be a longer distance.
It is 100%. Carry distance is longer. So, West Michigan, this time of the year, a lot of wind. That's the one I can kind of keep down out of the wind and still get it out there about 190, 185, 190. Just depends on the shot type you want to hit.
Something really, you don't always have to think sequentially through your bag. 100%. It isn't always a 3 hybrid than a 4-iron.
No.
How you're fitting those gaps, forgiveness, ball flight, it can sometimes, if you got room in the bag, it makes sense that 4 hybrid, 4-iron spot are maybe the same loft, but they do kind of 2 different things.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's crucial for course management, working the right way around the golf course, right? So longer par 3s, shorter par 3s, whatever it is, depending on the wind and the conditions and how you're feeling that day. So I'm not a long hitter by any means, so I kind of top load my bag with more clubs in the longer distance area, and then I just carry 2 wedges. So
okay,
we'll get to those.
We'll get to that. That's good. Yeah. So hop to the irons here.
Yeah. So the irons, I went this year with the Wilson staff models in the 4, 5, and 6.
I'm gonna pull one out here.
Yeah, you can pull the 6 out. That's the cleanest.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 in the cavity backs and the CBs. A little more forgiving up there.
Beautiful club.
Yeah, a little bit higher ball flight with them. Less, I'll say, not necessarily less control with them. Just kind of that, that little bit easier to hit, right? Little heel toe misses are a lot easier to get by with those. And then in the 7 through pitching wedge, I went with the blade. And those are kind of my scoring clubs from about 155, 160 in.
More workability.
More workability, shot shaping.
Keep
it down, hit it high, kind of do whatever you want with it type of thing. I grew up playing them. So
Ian's a better golfer, like we said. You're playing more of they're clubs built for your lower handicappers.
Yeah.
But this combo option can work for golfers at all levels.
100% can, yeah. So it's ball striking is the key to that, right? So when you look at ball strikers from a 12 handicap, he might hit his irons really, really good and can't chip and putt, and that's why he's a 12, right? Or he can't get off the tee. So it just depends on how they're striking the ball. I'll bring up my girlfriend because she plays some tour model heads, real small looking blade, forged heads. She has the correct shaft in them, but she's very intent on hitting the center of the face. So she's kind of a perfectionist, so she wants to hit the hardest club possible to get better with that club. I wouldn't recommend them for her, but
Well, and even like your higher handicappers, with all the different club models out there. Well, even like Wilson comes to mind. You could do like the Dynapower and Dynapower forged, and build a combo set. So you're still looking at more forgiveness on your longer irons.
Yeah, absolutely.
More workability, but still the forgiveness of that mid-high handicapper needs.
Yeah, the Dynapower forged versus Dynapower. It used to be you said the word forged and everybody ran.
Yeah,
sure. They were terrified of it. But now they have forged game improvement from almost every company. So it's that older guy that loved the feel of forged irons and thinks he can't hit them anymore. You can. We've got them. Every company has them. So, and then you can go into the higher clubs, the 3, 4 irons, or 4, 5, 6 irons, into the more easy clubs to hit. Even hybrids. So.
Lots of options. We're happy to be creative with you when you're building your bag. So we want to help you build a bag that's going to work for you, just like you've done for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all right. So irons. Down to pitching wedge, right?
You said you
carry
wedge.
2 wedges.
Yep, so I carry 2 wedges. I carry a 50 degree and a 58. My 50 degree wedge are the Mizuno T22s. I got a little lead tape packed in there just for controlled ball flight. So this is my 105 yard club, 110 yard club, depending on the conditions, all the way down to about 30 or 40 yards. When I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of options in wedges, so you learned to hit what you got. So I can hit this thing. It's very versatile. It's probably the most versatile club in my bag because I can hit it from 100 yards and in and still be comfortable with all the distances. And then my 58, I primarily just use it around the greens. If I have to hit it full, it's probably about 80 yards. But usually I'll use that out of the bunkers and around the greens and the little finesse shots and things like that, so to control it. Low bounce, very low bounce on it. It's 4-degree bounce.
Real low bounce.
Yeah. And then the grinds. Everybody's talking about a lot of grinds nowadays, and bounce and everything else. Just talk to us about what the grind's for, because we hear a lot of things online, and oh, I need this grind and that grind. Tell us a little bit about what your game is.
Yeah.
Because you don't always need what the tour guys have.
Yep. It can get really complicated really fast.
It can, yeah. So
best golfers, we like to make things more complicated than they need to be a lot of time.
Yeah, 100%. Best way to explain it: grind off the heel lets you open the club up without any rock. So if you slide underneath the ball, hit those flop shots that are all pretty and nice, the club won't dig or grab. And then the toe grind, that's for up around the greens to get the club a little more upright like a putter. That way it doesn't grab on the toe and flip this way. So, and that's something you got to practice and learn how to do.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And then, so now we're to the flat stick here.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm known for here, right?
Okay.
I worked for a putter company in their tour division for a long time, and taught putting and everything else. And I learned how to putt from my dad when I was 3 and 4 years old. That's all I did for the first 4 or 5 years of my career, is putt and chip. So, so I went with the Mizuno. I actually built this one. I extended it to give it a counterbalance.
Yep.
So we all know putters are supposed to be like pendulums, and then you always ask, well, how does a pendulum keep moving? Well, there's weight up top. And most of your putters, Odyssey putters, are all counterbalanced. Last year, Ricky Fowler, Wyndham Clark, you saw it, and it became real popular. So I tried it out this year. So far, it's working pretty well.
Yeah.
Had to add some more weight to the head.
More weight to the head with the longer shaft and counterbalance.
Yeah, Mizuno's one of those companies that comes with the weight kit, so you can kind of tinker around with it. Milled face, just like your high-end putters. 1025 stainless, so a little softer feel off the face, a little more control off the face for heel-toe putts and things like that. So, so far it's working well.
Good deal.
We'll see if I'm going to cut it off and shorten it again. But,
right.
But yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So, I also see in the bag.
Yep.
That not a club.
Yeah.
But something a lot of golfers. Most golfers should have.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if you're not keeping them in your bag, hopefully you've got some of these.
Yeah, and alignment stick covers and things like that. Kind of cool one, custom.
That's cool,
there. So alignment sticks, they're used for a lot of different things, not just setting them up and going, okay, cool, that I can see where I'm aiming. When you teach and things like that, you use them to inside path, outside path.
Yep.
We can tilt it up on your spine like that to make sure you're staying consistent with your spine angle and not getting real dippy. I put these under my juniors' feet so they can't move their feet.
Yep.
You know, happy feet we call them.
If you guys are spending any time at the range at all, you need to have some alignment sticks. If for nothing else, then just to know that you're lined up. It's the one time you get to check your alignment. Yeah. Learn alignment where you're aimed.
Yeah.
And this has probably become more common, I'd say, in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. They're getting different colors, and you got something to cover them up so they don't just look like 2 antennas sticking out of there.
Right.
Yeah, that's my favorite candy from Scotland.
So I did ask you earlier, rangefinder. You don't carry one.
Yeah, so I don't carry a rangefinder. I don't have a steady hand, so sometimes I'll pick a tree up behind it or something like that. I use an app on my phone. It basically tells me the yardage and everything else that I need, and I'm pretty simple, so if I don't see a yardage marker near me where I can walk it off, I still like walking it off. I'll pull that out and just kind of get front, middle, back, and kind of give me an idea of where I'm going to hit it. Yeah,
a lot of feel still sounds like.
Yeah, it's a feel thing for me, right? Some people want to know exact distance, and you know, you get some of the guys on tour and it's like 147 and a half. Like, well, I'm not that good, even though I'm a low handicap. I'm not that good.
Right.
So front, middle, back is kind of the thing I go off of.
And then what ball do you use?
So I just switched over to the Wilson Staff model this year. I was playing a Bridgestone. I still love them. I'll probably still go back to the Bridgestone at some point. I just like the way they feel into the greens. I was testing these out the last few rounds. This is this year's model ball, so it's a little less spinny into the green. Last year's model is called the X now. It was real spinny for me. I was spinning it back off greens. I too much spin for me personally. So if you need extra spin into the greens, I'd go to the X model. If you can control your spin, I would stick with the staff model one. Distance off the tee, it's the same.
Don't sleep on staff model balls.
No,
they are really
great.
You got to find the one that works for you.
Yeah. And we offer a ball fitting too to help you choose that as well.
It's a great way to do that. Wilson staff model balls are great. What Bridgestone ball is the other?
So I use
model because they do.
Yeah, they did
4.
a couple. So there's 2 of them. I'm kind of funny depending on the course I play. I'll use the B, the Tour B, less spin into the greens.
Yep.
And then the blue is the BS, I think it is.
Yeah. So a little more spin.
Yeah, so depending on where I'm playing, like here at Maple, I'll probably use the black, the less spin ball because the greens are a little bit more receptive.
Yep.
If I go out to we played Thornapple yesterday and the greens were real firm, so I could have used a little bit softer ball to kind of hold the greens a little bit, but that's typically what I'll do. I'll kind of switch back and forth.
Now, I've never thought about 2 different balls based on conditions.
Yeah.
Also, there's probably a good reason I haven't thought about that. So it probably won't make as much a big a difference for me as it does for you. So, but something to keep in mind if you're a better player, maybe a different ball based on conditions.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, windy conditions, you don't need a lot of spin. You want to keep the spin off it, you know, so it doesn't balloon, and they work. I mean,
just change the equipment now, right?
Spend a lot of money on golf ball development, so. Yeah.
All right, Ian, thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you all enjoyed seeing what Ian's got in the bag this year. Maybe it made you think of some things, some options you might consider for yourself. Watch for our next video. We'll have somebody else out here with you to do another What's in the Bag. We will see you next time.